Welcome to the second season of Journey to the Promised Delta. This time, we will visit 5 cities in the Yangtze Delta region to check out their economic development. This week, we take you to the city of Suzhou in neighboring Jiangsu province. Besides all of its well-known tourist spots, Suzhou also has one of China's fastest-growing development zones. With an annual average growth of 30%, Suzhou Industrial Park's GDP has increased by nearly 100 times since it opened in 1994. And one of its pillar industries, manufacturing, has also been improving. Our reporter Xu Fangliang went to one of those companies and tells us how it's been improving its quality to adapt to the expanding market.
This is the latest rust prevention technology for buses. Dipping the bus frame into the tank ensures that there will be no missing spots for the rust proofing. The company says innovations like this make its products more popular in the expanding overseas market.
最早出口的时候，还是主要集中在像中东或者非洲相对低端的一些市场。
In the beginning, we only exported our products to low-end markets, such as the Middle East and Africa. Then Southeast Asia and South America became our customers. And now some high-end markets, including Australia, the United States, and European countries also buy buses from our company.
因为这个市场相对比较高端的。
Ma says now more than 85 countries are importing his company's buses, but different countries have different standards.
欧洲的国家，包括美国。
High-end markets such as Australia and European countries have higher standards for both emission and safety. So we have to improve our engines as well as the configuration to better adjust their markets. Although our products become more expensive due to these improvements and changes, they themselves are also getting better.
法规的要求这一块本身比国内标准是要高的。
从国家环保这一块呢，我们肯定是。
Environmental protection is also important. We have also sold 4,000 buses that use the cleaner energy LNG. And besides the electric power buses and hybrid buses, we're also exporting the latest light fuel to Singapore.
The company has also invented something it calls a G-bus system that can monitor oil consumption and maintenance by simply collecting the instance data from the transmitters installed in the buses. And it can even record the route so that any operation against the rules can be spotted immediately. The bus company says the improved quality of the products also helped it expand in the domestic market. Last year alone, it produced more than 25,000 buses, 25 times as many as it did in 1999 when the company began.
This factory is now running 24 hours a day due to the increased demand. To make the work more efficient, 1,000 workers here are assigned to 14 different workstations along the 250-meter-long assembly line. They say they are now operating at their full capacity of 80 buses a day.
Higer, which says last year's sales totaled 8.8 trillion yuan, is just one of many manufacturers in the Suzhou Industrial Park. Along with electronics and IT industries, the entire manufacturing industry in this area is expected to make more than 150 trillion yuan by the end of 2015. That's 3% of the country's total import and export value, as well as 3% of gross IT output value. In addition to the pillar industries, SIP also have 5 emerging industries, including new energy, biopharmaceutical, software, animation, and eco-environment. To attract investors and workers for these industries, the local government is providing many incentives. For example, the tax rate for high-tech companies eligible for national support policies is as low as 15%, as opposed to the normal 25% rate for ordinary companies, including foreign ones. And for high-end and urgently needed talent, officials also offer housing subsidies and loan guarantees. Over the past decade, more than 1,000 technology companies have set up in the park and act as a driving force with their innovative projects.
In addition to exploring the industrial park, whose big annual profit contributes to the city's economic development, our reporter Xu Fangliang also took a look at some of Suzhou's traditional tourist spots. The city is known for its ancient gardens and streets and is trying very hard to preserve as much of its traditional culture as it can.
The bridge and water. Windows and rooftops you see along this 1-kilometer stretch of Pingjiang Road look pretty much the way they did 800 years ago. Tourists and local people walk down the street. When the road was first turned into a tourist attraction in 2002, the street had nearly 8,900 households. About 6% of them have moved out since then. The local government says it has tried to relocate as few people as possible in order to retain the area's original flavor.
历史街区的这个保护的话，有一个非常重要的一个观点，就是
When an ancient street or area is being developed into a tourist spot, it's actually quite important to keep at least 50 to 60% of its original residents living there. This group of people will maintain the original history and culture of this area. If all the people living here are from somewhere else, it will be a different story.
街貌、风貌和文化就不相容。
I'm 77 years old now, and I've been living here since I was a teenager. The business on the street doesn't really affect my life.
People like Zhao do make the place more attractive to tourists.
This one is, that's what I say, this one is very nice because the house is pure. All the people who are living near or this place is cool. In Shanghai it's different, it's more business.
But there are also commercial elements here. Like other Asian streets and towns, Pingjiang Road also has nearly 100 stores selling traditional snacks and silk products as a way of showing off the local culture. The Preservation Committee says all these stores had to meet strict qualifications before they opened, in order to make the stores match the local culture.
And joining us on the two-day trip to Suzhou were representatives of some of the consulates and foreign chambers of commerce in Shanghai. They talked about it afterward.
As for investing here, I think the figures speak for themselves. There's already quite a number of foreign and Belgian companies, and people here, I have the impression, but this is obviously my personal impression, but that they already form a community that is integrated into the general life here. I think I heard that in some areas of SIP there's about 8% of foreigners. So I think these figures speak from themselves, and that it's definitely an interesting place to come, to live and to invest.
It might be a good idea to try and develop here a local research and development in cooperation with foreign scientists and foreign innovators. And that way one can develop here the innovations and put them into manufacturing, which will be much more economical than going and buying already a completed patent or a completed innovation, and you have to buy the whole package. The presentations are not clear enough as to what exactly is wanted here by the Chinese side. I think once they create situations of question and answers, or develop more understanding of the foreign culture, whether it is old or new, doesn't matter, but to know more about the way the other side is thinking, it will enhance cooperation much faster than it has been until now.
With that, we come to the end of this episode of Journey to the Promised Delta.